What's up with the B&O Railroad Museum? Why did they change their name to something dumb? Yeah. Why don't we take care of places like this the same way? I don't know. What's the difference? I asked AI about it. I asked Google AI about it, and they said that the most likely thing was that it was a decision arrived at by the board of directors, and it was done so that they could raise funds more easily from sources outside of the Baltimore area. Because having that name Baltimore in there makes it like, why would I give my $2 billion to them, to Baltimore? Isn't that kind of a lost cause? Well, now you don't have to give your money to the Baltimore and Ohio. Now you can give your money to the Railroad and Museum of History and Innovation. And then once you've done that, you can change the story that they tell to like anything you want. And again, back to the subject at hand, like why didn't they do something to preserve this place? Oh wow, there's like I missed it. There was a fox that just ran across that disused parking lot. Anyway, why isn't this place preserved? Why isn't this place known as the Warehousing Museum of Storage Innovation and waiting until stuff costs more? You know, like my microphone? I'm always doing videos like this on a roadside or at a construction site, so I got this microphone to isolate my voice. I could swear I got this microphone for like $25. Now it's no longer sold on Amazon. It's made by a company called Saramonic, and I went to their website and looked, and now these are being sold for $170. I think I just got it on kind of a discount because Amazon wasn't going to sell them anymore. But there's others, so I ordered another one too. Just in case I lose any parts, because I do that. I tried looking this place up on Google AI, but it didn't have any information for me. It just said that the stuff around here was most likely used for managing the Jones Falls River, which we're right here by the Jones Falls River, warehousing, trucking, that kind of thing. But it could go back, it looks kind of old. It could go back to the time of electric streetcars. In my mind, it would be easy to run a museum about railroading, because I would just get some of the autistic guys that work there, or the ones that volunteer there, or the ones that visit there, to walk me around the yard and tell me all about the trains and how the different ones were invented, what year. But then really, I'm a donkey. I don't really know what's interesting to the donor class. And if you look, I've been following the B&O Railroad Museum on Instagram, and if you look at their posts, you see what is interesting to them. It's stuff more like racism, sexism, gender, that kind of thing. Not trains as much. There is a thing recently about a train video game. Why do we like trains anyway? What's the big deal? Now I'm going to make it all about me. When I was a kid, I went to the B&O Railroad Museum with a drawing class. We did drawings of the trains, and I thought that they were stupendous. I thought that they were so complicated. I thought, wow, I thought some really smart artist person must have spent a lot of time figuring out how to put bolts and canisters and pulleys and levers and push rods and stuff all over the outside of the train to make it look cool. But now I know that that's not what it is. It's beautiful because all of those pieces have a purpose. And it's kind of complicated, and they were all little things that were added along the way as they made trains work better. Now that we're down here by where I saw the fox, let's chill out. Let's lower the energy a little bit. I think I know what happened. I saw some people playing around in the water down there, and they probably scared that fox up out of the brush. Yeah, hey. I'll take a moment just to answer this graffiti artist's question. Yeah, if you can learn to innovate. Deep down, I think that's really why they included the word innovation, because they want to let you know that if you expect to live around here and be able to, own a house, eat food, go to the doctor, you're going to have to learn how to innovate really quick. Because people from all over the world are moving here. By the way, this is still me, Greg Gannon of the Baltimore Gannons, painter of signs and murals. I haven't changed my name. It's really wild, right? Back in the day, guys would literally go to a museum just to see the trains. And to look at the trains and to see the different names painted on the trains and read a little plaque about, where it has been, where it was invented, who invented it. But now we're so much smarter. Now we can go to the museum and we can learn about who was left out, who had little to do with the train. It's great stuff. I'm sure we'll all be better off for it. It'll make us better people. Am I getting too negative about this? It's just an old train station, and a roundhouse. And they cared so much for the roundhouse that a couple of years ago the roof fell down. Maybe there's a reasonable explanation for why that happened. You know, it doesn't have to be because they were spending all of their time worrying about who wasn't included, you know, and how they were mean. I'm not under the delusion that the people that invented trains were like really kind and they were really doing it just for the sake of innovation. They weren't. They knew that the first person to build a train line that could go from, like, I don't know, I guess the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean, that they would be rich. And they did it, and it worked. The technology that they invented to make that happen is awesome. It's great to look at. It also might be interesting to note that I am part of a name change right across the street at the Irish Museum of... What? Oh, this place also had a serious name change a little while ago. I'll be painting the words Irish American Museum with a pointy hand that points down towards the museum. It's right across the street from the Railroading Museum of History and Innovation. And it used to be called the Irish Railroad Workers Museum. If they were to follow the B&O's example, they'd probably want to take the word Irish out of it, right? Because if they have the word Irish in it, only Irish people are going to donate money or even want to visit. Sorry to have gotten so negative on you guys. I've got a bit of the Irish Alzheimer's, you know. You only remember the things that, times that people have slighted you. And that thing about volunteering, that hurt. But it doesn't hurt nearly as much as taking the name Baltimore out of it. That's a real loss, that lots of people feel I'm not the only one. I'm sure they knew that would happen, but they did it for the donor money. So I hope they enjoy their new donor money, and maybe a lot of us, you can have a good time just by going there, not paying admission, walking around the outside of the building. I posted a whole video about that. I'm sorry it's in vertical. You don't really get as immersive of an experience as you do when it's like this. Maybe I'll do another one if there's any demand. Anybody want to see the outside of the building? Want to look at some trains? I'm thinking about buying a telephoto lens. If there's anybody with a camera company or, a Sony E-mount telephoto lens, we can get a pretty good tour in just that way. Drop a comment. Leave a comment. What's the big deal? Comment on my video. That's a big help. I need ideas. I need comments. I need clicks. Thanks.